Everyone in Pittsburgh knows that we made steel for decades, and that legacy is still a living part of who we are now. But there aren't a lot of examples left of how all that history was forged. With the Carey blast furnaces, you can literally stand in the shadow of what was once cutting-edge technology. Rivers of Steel offers tours of this important national historic landmark, and they explain how we made iron, introduce you to the people, the workers who made it possible, and share more about the culture that sprang up to support them. Plus, they've got a special spotlight right now on how the Great Migration shaped its workforce. Learn more and book a tour at riversofsteel.com/tours. Hey, Pittsburgh. I don't know about you, but my perfect summer night includes a little art, a little music, and maybe browsing some cute vintage goodies. So I will be checking out the gallery crawl in the Cultural District. It's on Saturday, July 26th from 5:30 to 9 p.m., and it's all totally free. You can swing by new exhibitions at a couple art galleries and shop for gently used clothes and decor at a midsummer market in the backyard at 8th and Penn. There'll be food, there'll be drinks, there'll be live DJs, and if you're up for it, there's even an after party at Wood Street Galleries where Detour will be dropping a new LP. You can find out more about the crawl and snag a ticket to the after party at trustarts.org/crawl. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh. On Saturday, a person fired a gun at former President Donald Trump while he was speaking at a rally in western Pennsylvania. It was in Butler County at the Butler Farm Showgrounds about an hour north of the city, where 65% of voters there wanted to send him to the White House in both 2016 and in 2020. Trump says a bullet pierced his ear, but one person attending, firefighter Corey Comperatore, he was killed, and two others are badly injured. We're with a reporter who was there at the rally to talk about what it felt like to bear witness to an assassination attempt, how everything unfolded, and what he's going to be watching for now. It's Monday, July 15th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. Ryan Dito is a reporter for The Trib who was at the Trump rally on Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us on CityCast.
Of course, yeah. Happy to be here.
I guess first and foremost, how are you doing? I know you've probably been in reporter mode since all this happened, but you also just experienced a shooting, an assassination attempt in real time. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. You know, I was kind of sitting back in the press pen when everything happened. I was really just looking for shade. It was 90. It was very hot. It was 90 degrees out, and the sun was just blaring. So I was kind of back a little bit, and I feel fine, really. Just like you said, just been in reporter mode ever since it happened, and you know, I only slept a few hours because I woke up and I was like, oh wow, I can't believe that thing just happened. I better get back at it. So that's where I'm at.
I know that's the life, but it's also, I hope you make space for yourself to also like exhale at some point today or tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
What was the event like, I guess, before the shooting? I know I saw Trump started a little bit late. A lot of people there, of course. Tell us kind of what was going down before it became much bigger news.
Yeah, there were a ton of people there. I mean, I kind of estimated several thousand. There might have been over 10,000.
I saw the Trib reported, last week that they expected to sell 15,000 tickets. I don't know if they hit that.
Yeah, I mean, they might have. It was hard to say. It was hard to see. I think that basically the whole field, which is about the size of a football field, was just like full of people. So, I mean, that's a lot of people. I think that's a lot of people. It was very hot, like I was saying. It got up to above 90 degrees with a heat index of above 94. There were people that were actually passing out. I saw a medic come and take someone away probably about like 2 hours before Trump even spoke, and he started speaking about 6 o'clock, which is late technically, but not really that late for him. So I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, most politicians are a teeny bit late.
Yeah.
They got a lot to do.
Yeah.
Why do you think Trump picked this venue, the Butler Farm Showgrounds,
Yes.
or maybe Butler County in general?
Definitely understand why he picked Butler County. It's a huge, southwestern Pennsylvania is massive for Trump. He needs to bring out his voters here. The greater southwestern Pennsylvania region has the most Republican voters of any kind of quote unquote region in PA. We just have a lot of Republicans here in the especially outside of Allegheny County, and I mean even within Allegheny County, there's a lot of Republicans. I think that actually is the county with the most Republicans of any county in the state. So this is kind of where he needs to run up his numbers, and so you do it up in Butler. You're in Trump country up there. It's very red.
You are, but you're also near, their city center is Cranberry, which
Right.
Is very affluent and growing like crazy.
And shifting blue. So it's kind of like he kind of probably wants to be on that fringe there where he can try to maybe sway some independents and stuff like that, be close to there. And he's not too far of a drive from Erie, which is also a really important swing area. So I heard some people that had driven down from Erie, people from Clearfield County had come. So it was kind of a central location to kind of bring in a lot of his base in Western Pennsylvania. So I think that's why he chose it.
Well, so let's talk about the shooting then. The gunshots go off. In the minutes prior, had you seen anything that might have suggested what was about to follow?
No, I know it was a totally regular rally, really up until the very moment that everyone heard the gunshots. Trump was speaking. He was kind of riffing. He was going off teleprompter. He seemed in a really good mood. And then we all heard some initial shots.
Did it sound like gunfire to you? I saw so many reports about it. Sounded like paintball. It sounded like fireworks, which of course everyone is in the mindset for right now.
It didn't sound like gunfire to me. I actually initially thought it was something on the television screen. Like I said, I was sitting far back, so I wasn't actually like watching everything really closely. I'm typing, I'm taking notes, I'm doing all this stuff. And so I thought, oh, maybe like a video started playing on accident or something. Some other people said, was that fireworks? Was that fireworks? I don't know why it sounded like that. Maybe because there was not a lot of stuff for the shots to echo off of. So it wasn't that loud.
Yeah, those fairgrounds are exactly what you would think. It's a huge wide swath, no trees, nothing to buffer any of the sound, anything like that.
And it's right next to like a small rural airport. So it's really just a field. That's it, And so we heard that. A lot of people were kind of shocked. Then there seemed to be some more gunfire after that. That's when people started to kind of scream and, duck down. Everyone ducked down and then get scared. In that second fire, I don't know what that second fire was. I'm assuming it was the response fire that ended up killing the gunman. But I don't know. And then after that, I don't know. There was no mass panic to run at all. Everyone was kind of just sitting there. What was that? Everyone was asking, what was that? We were all looking at each other going, what was that? There was a unfortunate moment when some people in the crowd decided to turn on the press right after the shooting. And they said, this is your fault. And they, called us fake news and stuff like that, which is, to be expected at a Trump rally.
I mean, I've experienced that personally, but in very different circumstances. It was part of Trump's rhetoric to try to build up his base. It wasn't as a response to what, ultimately has become a casualty event.
Right. And so that was surprising, but I mean, nothing surprising in a moment like that, I mean, everyone has their own reaction. So it's nothing that I'm not even going to pass judgment on anybody for doing that. 'Cause it's like, well, whatever. I mean, people are they're in shock, and I mean, I know the president, former president had said something to the degree of like fight, and as he's getting carried off, he didn't seem that shocked when it happened. You could hear him talking and going, what was that? And then he was carried off, and then the crowd started to clear everybody out, and people just kind of started to slowly walk out. And there were some people who were crying, but not really that many. I would say most people were just kind of confused and decided to just kind of slowly walk out as the police were kind of ordering everyone to clear out with like I said, like with a very small percentage of people who were like visibly upset.
I feel like most of us, by the time you're hearing this, you've seen videos of what happened to the former president. He grabs his right ear, ducks down a little, then the Secret Service people cover him. Pretty quickly, he's escorted off the stage there, and he had some blood smeared on his cheek and pulled on his ear. But I wonder what happened around you. I know you said you were in that press grouping. What do you even do in those moments? And then after the fact, too, did y'all try to interview folks? Do you?
Yep.
You really have to put yourself on pause, like your own humanity, to step out into that.
Yeah, I mean, my first instinct, obviously, when it happened was, oh, I got to tweet this out.
Ryan, I want to tease you about your instinct to tweet, but this isn't the moment.
Yeah, well, I wanted to call my editor. I wanted to tweet out. I wanted to just get that information out there because it was wow, it seemed like gunshots. But I also knew that there was live cameras on it, so everyone was going to see that anyway.
Yeah.
Then that reporter instinct just kicks in and it's okay, try to talk to people, It was initially people were kind of hard to talk to because they were in shock, and some people were upset. They were saying stuff, but they didn't want to give their names. Everybody's just kind of going crazy. After a few more minutes, as most people were kind of cleared out, there were still some rally goers that were kind of hanging on. They were much more open to talk to the press, and I just interviewed them about their experience. And people were upset that someone would try to kill the former president.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear anything that you think's going to stick with you?
Man, that's a really good question.
Or see anything too?
I mean, I'm definitely going to remember just the fact that you heard the gunshots, and that was, I mean, how many assassination attempts have there been on candidates or former presidents? It's you count it on two hands, I think. So to be a part of that is definitely something I'll remember. I don't know if there was especially something that would stick with me, because what the rally goers said, I guess, was kind of expected. It was just people were blaming others for trying to end Trump, that that people are really, that go to those rallies, love Trump and they're really behind Trump. So it was kind of just people reverting back to their corners, to an extent. I did talk to some people that were just we just wanted to make sure that those people were safe, because there were three other people that got shot, and trying to get those people safe. But it just felt like a chaotic moment, really. I think this is the chaos of it, and no one really knowing anything. And so you're trying to get answers for some, and people are I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and of course, you and I are talking right now on Sunday afternoon. So still at this point, less than 24 hours after all of this happened. What do you know at this point about the person who allegedly fired these shots, and about the people that were also shot in the process?
Yeah, I know Thomas Matthew Crooks is the alleged gunman. He's from Bethel Park. He graduated in 2022. I believe actually Trib reported a few years ago that he earned an award for math and science. So he was a pretty accomplished student in math and science. Don't know much about him. I did talk to Allegheny County Councilman Dan Grisback, and he is from Bethel Park. He was at the graduation that when Crooks graduated in 2022. He was a school board member at the time. He spoke to some people who knew him, but all the details he had was that guy was pretty nondescript, guy was pretty quiet, and that's pretty much it. We do know that he was a registered Republican. He also donated to a progressive turnout group before he registered as a Republican. So I guess the timeline, when he was 17, he donated to $15. Not that much, obviously, to a progressive turnout group. And then he registered for a Republican sometime after he was 18. His mother's a Democrat, is what Dan Grisbeck told me, and his father's a Libertarian. He canvassed their house when he was running for election last year.
And I'm sure so many more details are going to come out,
Yes.
and a lot of conjecture about,
Yes.
motivations and things like that. We don't know any of it yet.
Yes.
What about the folks that were impacted by his alleged choices?
I believe there was a South Buffalo former fire chief, who was the casualty, was the person shot and killed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that reporting just broke, so I have not had a chance to dig into that yet. And I don't believe that the other two victims who were shot have been released yet.
And I guess what's going through your head now? I don't know if you've had a chance to kind of feel like step back, like zoom out a little bit. But what will you be focused on, I guess, the rest of today and the next few weeks and months? I mean, this was one of Trump's first rallies in Pennsylvania, the first one over here. And of course, just a few days out from the Republican National Convention, where he will go, we assume, from presumptive nominee to official one. How do you gird yourself for the next few months leading up to the election in November?
I think you just have to know that everything is unknown right now. There's no precedent for what has happened. To have a presidential candidate shot at in the run up to the election, that has happened before with Bobby Kennedy, but he was killed. So that
and
changed.
He wasn't a former president. He was the brother of a former president, but
he also wasn't the former president, but he was considered a front runner for that race, but he was killed. But now we have someone who survived an assassination attempt, and how does that play out? I have no idea. We have no idea. Like I said, this is truly unprecedented in American history, or at least modern American history. So, I think it's just kind of feeling like I just want to be comfortable in the unknown, And we got to learn more about Thomas Crooks. We have to learn more about what, if any, motivations he had, and that will have a huge effect. That will probably have a huge effect on the election, honestly. So we don't know. We know that I think I took a photo of a billboard as I was leaving last night, a digital billboard that I guess someone put up really fast after the shooting that blamed Democrats for the shooting.
I saw a lot of those sentiments, both from regular people and from lawmakers, like elected officials in Western Pennsylvania, saying that this is Democrats' fault.
Yes, I believe Mike Kelly, representative from Butler, said something to the effect. So that will probably be a rallying cry, and that would only go stronger if the Thomas Crooks had, very strong left-leaning affiliations. We don't know party affiliation, whatever. I'm not going to comment on that, but he is not a registered Democrat. But we don't know. He was 20 years old. We don't know. So we're gonna have to wait for details to be revealed about him, and see where we go from there.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for sharing your observations with us and your reporting. I really hope you get some rest.
I will soon.
After we talked to Ryan, Governor Josh Shapiro shared the name of the attendee who died. His name was Corey Comperatore.
Corey was a girl dad. Corey was a firefighter. Corey went to church every Sunday. Corey loved his community. And most especially, Corey loved his family.
The Pennsylvania State Police shared the identities of the other victims, 57-year-old David Dutch of New Kensington and 74-year-old James Copenhaver of Moon Township. Police say they're both now in stable condition. But of course, news is breaking fast. The whole world is staring at Western Pennsylvania right now, trying to figure this thing out. Ryan, we, and so many other local and national journalists are going to be working hard to try to tell you about it in the coming days. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. Reminder, you can find more about this and other important news in our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. Sign up at pittsburgh.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Be safe, Yens.